Some time ago, I had a call from a client, and the client asked me if I could build a website or even design a front end. And I said, yes, I could. Okay, the client then asked me, have I done some things before that he can see, just to be sure that I'm the right person? Of course, now I felt I had done something. So he said, okay, I should share what I have done. Then I was able to compile some things and I shared. So at some point, the client just went and I was expecting a feedback. Oh, the feedback didn't come. I was wondering, what went wrong? Is it that my design didn't fit? Or is it that the client was expecting something else and I couldn't render it? This was the point I started thinking, maybe I need to do some things differently. Well, when I waited and I couldn't get a hold of the client, I had to just reach out to the client and ask, why didn't you get back to me? Is it that I'm not fit for the job, or is there something wrong? Then the client tell me that, well, all the things you sent were fantastic, but I couldn't really verify that you did those jobs. Wow. This became very huge to me because these are my projects. These are things I did, and somebody can really trace those things down to me and say, I totally did these things myself. This now brings us back to what I titled digital footprint. Now, if you ask yourself as either an employer or as an individual or a freelancer, let me ask you one-on-one, what is the level of your digital footprint? Before we dive into what is really this digital footprint, I want us to go on a very short break. Welcome back. My name is Noah Latoye, and welcome to 5 minutes of design and code, where obviously I give you design and coding tips to help you become better and get the best of the internet community. So let's dive into what we have today, which is digital footprints. In fact, let's even try to understand what is a digital footprint. Well, in a very layman explanation, a digital footprint can be your descriptions out there, like what people can see when you are not there. So in other words, if I pick your name right now, maybe Joseph Ezekiel, and I just go to Google or I go to any search engine and I just key it in and search Joseph Michael, maybe your surname is Michael, and I search, what do I see? Do I see tons of Joseph and find it very difficult to identify the current Joseph I am looking for, or I just get to see the Joseph I am looking for immediately? In other words, your digital footprint basically means how people can perceive you outside the world, outside of your jurisdiction. So there are several ways you can control what people see and how people perceive you. But the bottom line of this tip I am trying to share with you is so that you take this very, very serious. Remember the story I told you about the clients who didn't bother calling me back because he couldn't figure out who I was? This is the downside when you don't take your digital footprint very serious. So as an individual or a CEO or a manager, you need to be very aware of this and take charge of what people see about you. In fact, if you look at nations, maybe countries, if you Google a country like maybe United States of America, some of the things you will see are the good things about the nation. You won't really see that the nation actually have some part of poverty in some regions. You would never see that because they took their digital footprint very serious. And on the other hand, if you visit some countries in Africa, or you even want to search, I don't want to mention any of the country, but just try to search any African country. Is either you see killings, or you see robbing, or you see all manner of negativity. That is the negative aspect when you don't take your digital footprint very serious. Now that you understand the implication of taking your digital footprint very serious, The question is, how can you put this thing in a very appropriate way? Like, how can you put yourself out there in a credible way? There are just some common steps that you can take. Now, first, you need to ask yourself, do you have a unique name that when people search, they are likely to see you? You're likely to be the first person to pop up. So sometimes these are things you need to consider. Imagine if you're answering a name like George Bush. Of course, if anybody type in George Bush, you will never pop up, because there is somebody who is a philanthropist who already had this name, and it will be very difficult for you to beat that search engine. So thinking about it, you need to think about some unique name that you can give yourself, and make sure you use this name across all the social media. And some of the things you need to consider as well is you have to be truthful. You have to be truthful. You don't have to, make sure you don't lie. Like, don't try to frame things up. Don't lie, because see, internet doesn't forget. So whatever information you put out there, you have to be very intentional and be ready to defend them in case if anything pops up. So if you're thinking about increasing your digital identity, just think about few things, right? One, think about a unique name that you use across board. Think about unique descriptions that you use across board. Then think about some content that you can be sharing subsequently, so that at every point, the search engine understands that so person is active on the internet. So don't just be somebody who consumes content alone. Rather, be somebody who also contributes to the industry, somebody who also contributes to the ecosystem. And when you contribute to that, you'll be so amazed as to how your name will pop up very easily. For instance, if you just go to the social media and just type in maybe Noah Olatoye, which is my name, I'll be the first person you will see. And that's basically because over time, I have contributed, I have written so many things, I have posted on all of the social media that you can mention. By doing that, I was able to increase my visibility and also enhance my personality as an individual. So, to wrap up all these things, first, if you want to increase your digital footprint, make sure that you have a unique name. And when it comes to this unique name, don't be worried if somebody's using the name already. You can outrun whatever traffic that is currently existing, depending if you're ready to put in the hard work. So maybe, for instance, you pick a name right now and you see that maybe some people are already using it, but they are not too serious about it. Just know that you can make use of it. But you have to be consistent so that you can outrun those names, and over time, the search engine will pop you as number one. And that's how we wrap it up on this one. If you have any additional tips that I didn't add to what I just said, of course, leave it in the comment section. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, what are you still waiting for? So click on the subscribe button and follow us on all our social media handles so that you can be notified each time we release a new tip. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.